In the shadowy depths of subway tunnels, where the hum of the city fades into an unsettling silence, a world of unexplained encounters awaits. Maintenance workers and urban explorers alike have shared eerie tales that send shivers down the spine, recounting experiences that defy logic and explanation. These stories often involve strange noises echoing through the dark, fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. Each narrative adds to the growing lore surrounding these subterranean passages, transforming them into a breeding ground for urban legends. The thrill of exploring the unknown draws adventurers into these dimly lit corridors, where the line between reality and the supernatural blurs. As we delve into these spine-chilling accounts, we invite you to join us on a journey that not only uncovers the mysteries lurking beneath our cities, but also highlights the importance of embracing the unknown. The allure of urban legends lies in their ability to ignite our imagination and challenge our understanding of the world around us. So, prepare yourself for a captivating exploration of the unexplained encounters that haunt subway tunnels, where every shadow could tell a story and every echo might hold a secret waiting to be discovered. On a chilly, late-night subway ride, the atmosphere was thick with an unsettling quiet, punctuated only by the rhythmic clatter of the train as it glided through the darkened tunnels beneath the city. The fluorescent lights overhead flickered intermittently, casting eerie shadows that danced across the empty seats. A young mother, clutching her baby tightly in her arms, sat alone in the dimly lit car, her heart racing with a mix of exhaustion and anxiety. The late hour had emptied the train, leaving her feeling isolated in a cavernous space that seemed to amplify her fears. As the train rattled along, she glanced around, her senses heightened, acutely aware of the unsettling silence that enveloped her. With each flicker of the lights, her unease grew. The shadows seemed to stretch and twist, creating the illusion of movement just beyond her line of sight. She tried to focus on her baby, whose soft coos provided a comforting distraction, but the oppressive atmosphere weighed heavily on her mind. The rhythmic sound of the train was suddenly interrupted by a loud thud, causing her to jump. She looked up, her heart pounding, scanning the empty seats for any sign of life. The train continued its journey, but the flickering lights added to her growing sense of dread, making her feel as though she were trapped in a nightmare. As the train approached the next station, she noticed a figure standing at the far end of the car. The figure was shrouded in darkness, their features obscured by the dim light. A chill ran down her spine as she tried to convince herself it was just her imagination playing tricks on her. But as the train slowed to a stop, the figure began to move closer, their footsteps echoing ominously in the confined space. The mother's heart raced as she instinctively pulled her baby closer, feeling a primal urge to protect her child from the unknown threat. The figure emerged from the shadows, revealing a disheveled man with wild eyes and an unsettling grin. He seemed out of place, a stark contrast to the sterile environment of the subway car. The flickering lights cast an unsettling glow on his face, making him appear even more menacing. The mother's mind raced with thoughts of escape, but the train doors remained closed, trapping her in this nightmare. She could feel the weight of fear pressing down on her, a suffocating reminder of her vulnerability in this urban jungle. As the man approached, he began to mumble incoherently, his words lost in the echo of the train. The mother's instincts kicked in, and she instinctively shifted her body to shield her baby from view. The isolation of the late-night subway ride intensified her fear, amplifying the sense of danger that loomed before her. In that moment, she felt utterly alone, surrounded by the vast emptiness of the car, with no one to turn to for help. The psychological impact of fear in such an environment was overwhelming, as her mind raced with worst-case scenarios. The flickering lights above seemed to synchronize with her rising panic, casting erratic shadows that danced around the car. Each flicker felt like a heartbeat, a reminder of the danger that lurked just a few feet away. The man continued to approach, his movements slow and deliberate, as if savoring the moment. The mother's breath quickened, and she fought to maintain her composure, knowing that her baby could sense her fear. She whispered soothing words to her child, trying to project calmness even as her heart threatened to burst from her chest. Just as the man reached her, The train jolted to a stop, and the doors slid open with a mechanical hiss. The sudden rush of fresh air and the sound of the city above flooded the car, momentarily breaking the spell of fear that had enveloped her. Without thinking, she seized the opportunity and bolted for the exit, her instincts guiding her as she clutched her baby tightly. The man hesitated for a moment, caught off guard by her sudden movement, and she didn't look back as she rushed onto the platform. Once outside, the cool night air hit her like a wave, and she took a moment to catch her breath. The sounds of the city filled her ears, drowning out the echoes of the subway car. She felt a mix of relief and lingering fear as she glanced back at the train, now a distant memory of terror. The encounter had left an indelible mark on her psyche, a reminder of the fragility of safety in an urban environment. The isolation she had felt in the subway car was a stark contrast to the bustling streets above, where life continued unabated. As she made her way home, the mother couldn't shake the feeling of unease that clung to her. The encounter had been brief, yet it had shaken her to her core, highlighting the psychological impact of fear in a city that often felt indifferent to its inhabitants. The late-night subway ride had transformed from a mundane journey into a haunting experience, one that would linger in her mind long after she reached the safety of her home. The shadows of the subway tunnels would forever hold a sense of mystery and danger, a reminder of the unknown lurking just beneath the surface of everyday life. In the days that followed, she found herself reflecting on that night, grappling with the fear that had gripped her. The encounter had opened her eyes to the darker side of urban living, where isolation and fear could manifest in the most unexpected ways. It served as a cautionary tale, a reminder to remain vigilant in a world that could be both beautiful and terrifying. The subway, once a symbol of convenience and connectivity, had become a place of unease, a reminder of the fragility of safety in the urban landscape. Ultimately, the experience transformed her perspective on the city she called home. It was a place filled with stories, both light and dark, where the unknown could lurk around any corner. The psychological impact of that late-night encounter would stay with her, a haunting reminder of the shadows that exist in the most familiar of places. As she navigated the bustling streets, she carried with her the knowledge that even in the heart of the city, the line between safety and danger could be perilously thin. In the dimly lit recesses of subway tunnels, where the echoes of trains fade into an unsettling silence, maintenance workers often encounter a peculiar phenomenon that has come to be known as scrawl leeches. These strange markings, which mimic graffiti, appear seemingly overnight, leaving workers puzzled and unnerved. Unlike typical graffiti, which often conveys a message or artistic expression, scrawl leeches seem to shift and change, their patterns elusive and disconcerting. The concept of scrawl leeches has become a topic of intrigue and fear among those who work in the subterranean depths of the city, blurring the lines between reality and the supernatural. Maintenance workers, tasked with the upkeep of the subway system, frequently share unsettling stories of their encounters with these bizarre markings. One worker recounted a night shift spent inspecting a rarely used tunnel. As he moved deeper into the darkness, he noticed strange symbols etched into the walls, symbols that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. At first glance, they appeared to be random scribbles, but as he focused on them, he could have sworn they shifted, rearranging themselves into new forms. The sensation was disorienting, as if the very walls were alive, watching him with an unseen gaze. He felt an inexplicable urge to turn back, a primal instinct that warned him of an unseen danger lurking just beyond the flickering light of his flashlight. Another worker shared a chilling experience from a routine inspection. He entered a tunnel that had been freshly painted, only to find that the new paint had been marred by strange, dark markings that seemed to emerge from nowhere. The patterns were unlike anything he had seen before, twisting lines and shapes that defied logic. As he examined them, he felt a creeping sensation, as if the markings were somehow aware of his presence. The air grew thick with tension, and he could hear the faint sound of whispers echoing through the tunnel, though he was alone. The experience left him shaken, questioning his own sanity as he hurried back to the safety of the main station. The phenomenon of scrawl leeches has sparked a mix of skepticism and intrigue among maintenance workers. Some dismiss the markings as mere vandalism, attributing them to bored teenagers or urban artists seeking to make a name for themselves. Yet, others cannot shake the feeling that there is something more sinister at play. The tension between skepticism and the supernatural is palpable, as workers grapple with the unsettling nature of these encounters. Urban legends often thrive in such environments, feeding off the fears and uncertainties of those who traverse the dark underbelly of the city. One particularly haunting tale involves a group of workers who stumbled upon a section of tunnel that had been completely covered in scrawl leeches. The markings were intricate and elaborate, resembling a chaotic tapestry of symbols and shapes. As they examined the graffiti, they noticed that the patterns seemed to shift and change before their eyes, creating an unsettling sense of motion. The workers exchanged nervous glances, each feeling an unspoken tension in the air. It was as if the markings were alive, communicating something beyond their comprehension. The experience left them feeling vulnerable and exposed, as if they had trespassed into a realm that was not meant for them. As the stories of scrawl leeches spread among maintenance workers, they began to take on a life of their own, evolving into urban legends that blurred the lines between reality and myth. Some claimed that the markings were a form of communication from an unseen entity, a warning to those who dared to venture too deep into the tunnels. Others believed that the scrawl leeches were manifestations of the city's collective fears, a reflection of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of urban life. The tension between skepticism and belief fueled the intrigue, as workers grappled with the unsettling nature of their experiences. In the face of these eerie encounters, some workers sought to rationalize their experiences, attributing the shifting patterns to the effects of fatigue or the mind's tendency to play tricks in low-light conditions. Yet, the more they tried to dismiss the phenomenon, the more it seemed to haunt them. The psychological impact of fear and uncertainty began to take its toll, as workers found themselves second-guessing their perceptions and questioning their own sanity. The urban environment, once a familiar landscape, transformed into a labyrinth of shadows and whispers, where the line between the mundane and the supernatural blurred. The stories of scrawl leeches serve as a reminder of the power of urban legends to shape our understanding of the world around us. They tap into our primal fears, drawing on the unknown and the inexplicable to create a sense of unease. In a city that never sleeps, where the hustle and bustle of daily life often drowns out the whispers of the past, these tales remind us that there are still mysteries lurking in the shadows. The tension between skepticism and belief is a fundamental aspect of the human experience, as we grapple with the unknown and seek to make sense of the world around us. As maintenance workers continue to share their unsettling encounters with scrawl leeches, the phenomenon remains a topic of fascination and fear. The stories serve as a testament to the power of urban legends to capture our imagination and challenge our understanding of reality. In the depths of the subway tunnels, where the echoes of the city fade into silence, the scrawl leeches stand as a haunting reminder of the mysteries that lie just beneath the surface. Whether they are mere figments of imagination or something more sinister, the tales of these strange markings continue to resonate, inviting us to explore the unknown and confront the fears that dwell within us all. In the end, the stories of maintenance workers encountering scrawl leeches highlight the delicate balance between skepticism and belief, a dance between the rational and the supernatural that defines our relationship with the urban landscape. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, we are reminded that the unknown is never far away, lurking in the shadows, waiting to be discovered. The allure of urban legends lies in their ability to challenge our perceptions and ignite our imaginations, urging us to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding. In the heart of the city, where the familiar meets the strange, the stories of scrawl leeches continue to captivate and terrify, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown. The urban legend of the Chisel Man has haunted the subway system for decades, weaving a chilling narrative that dates back to the 1950s. This alleged serial killer, whose name evokes both fear and intrigue, is said to have prowled the underground tunnels, targeting unsuspecting commuters. The legend paints a picture of a shadowy figure, armed with a chisel, who would strike when least expected, leaving a trail of terror in his wake. While the specifics of the Chisel Man's story have morphed over the years, the core elements remain the same. a faceless predator lurking in the depths of the subway, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. Historically, the 1950s were a tumultuous time in urban America, marked by rising crime rates and a growing sense of unease in the cities. The post-war era saw an influx of people into urban centers, leading to overcrowded public transport systems and a heightened awareness of safety concerns. It was during this period that the legend of the Chisel Man began to take root, fueled by sensationalized news reports and the collective anxieties of a society grappling with change. The subway, once a symbol of progress and connectivity, became a breeding ground for fear, as stories of the Chisel Man spread like wildfire among commuters and workers alike. As the legend gained traction, reactions among commuters varied widely. Some dismissed the Chisel Man as nothing more than an urban myth, a cautionary tale designed to keep people alert in the often chaotic environment of the subway. Others, however, were deeply affected by the stories, their imaginations ignited by the chilling possibility that such a figure could exist. Commuters began to share their own experiences, recounting moments of unease during late-night rides or encounters with strangers that left them feeling vulnerable. The subway, once a mundane part of their daily routine, transformed into a labyrinth of fear, where every shadow could conceal the Chisel Man, waiting to strike. Workers in the subway system also felt the impact of the legend. Maintenance crews and station attendants reported heightened anxiety during their shifts, particularly in the dimly lit tunnels where the Chisel Man was said to roam. The psychological effects of the urban myth seeped into their daily lives, causing them to second-guess their surroundings and remain hypervigilant. Stories circulated among workers, each retelling adding layers to the legend, as they exchanged tales of close calls and eerie encounters. The Chisel Man became a shared point of reference, a figure that embodied their fears and anxieties about the dangers lurking in the urban landscape. The psychological effects of urban myths like the Chisel Man extend beyond mere fear. They tap into deeper anxieties about safety and vulnerability in public spaces. For many individuals using public transport, the subway represents a microcosm of urban life, where the familiar can quickly become unfamiliar and threatening. The legend of the Chisel Man serves as a reminder of the fragility of safety in these environments, where the hustle and bustle of daily life can mask the potential for danger. Commuters often find themselves grappling with the tension between the need for connection and the instinct for self-preservation, leading to a heightened sense of paranoia. As the years passed, the Chisel Man legend continued to evolve, adapting to the changing landscape of urban life. New generations of commuters encountered the myth, often hearing it from older riders who recounted their own experiences with a mix of nostalgia and fear. The legend became a rite of passage, a story that every subway rider had to confront at some point. The psychological impact of the Chisel Man lingered in the collective consciousness, shaping the way people navigated the subway system. Commuters began to develop coping mechanisms, such as avoiding certain cars or stations, particularly during late-night hours when the legend felt most potent. In the digital age, the Chisel Man legend found new life online, as social media platforms allowed for the rapid sharing of stories and experiences. Commuters began to post their own encounters, whether real or imagined, further blurring the lines between myth and reality. The legend took on a life of its own, with forums dedicated to discussing the Chisel Man and sharing tips on how to stay safe while riding the subway. The psychological effects of the urban myth were amplified in this new context, as individuals found solace in the shared experience of fear, bonding over their mutual anxieties. The Chisel Man legend also highlights the broader societal issues surrounding safety in urban environments. As crime rates fluctuated over the decades, the fear of the Chisel Man became intertwined with real-life concerns about violence and victimization in public spaces. The legend served as a lens through which individuals processed their fears, often projecting their anxieties onto the figure of the Chisel Man. This phenomenon underscores the power of urban myths to shape perceptions of safety and danger, influencing the way people interact with their surroundings. In many ways, the Chisel Man embodies the archetype of the urban predator, a figure that resonates with the collective fears of city dwellers. The legend serves as a cautionary tale, reminding commuters to remain vigilant and aware of their surroundings. Yet, it also raises questions about the nature of fear itself. how it can be both a protective instinct and a source of paralysis. The psychological effects of the Chisel Man legend extend beyond the subway system, reflecting the broader anxieties of urban life and the challenges of navigating a world filled with uncertainty. As the legend continues to circulate, it remains a powerful reminder of the impact of urban myths on individuals using public transport. The Chisel Man serves as a symbol of the fears that lurk beneath the surface of everyday life, a figure that embodies the tension between safety and danger in the urban landscape. For commuters and workers alike, the legend is a testament to the power of storytelling, illustrating how myths can shape our perceptions and influence our behavior in profound ways. Ultimately, the urban legend of the Chisel Man is more than just a ghost story. It is a reflection of the complexities of urban life and the psychological effects of fear. As commuters navigate the subway system, they carry with them the weight of the legend, a reminder of the dangers that may lie in wait. The Chisel Man continues to haunt the collective imagination, a figure that embodies the anxieties of city living and the ever-present tension between the familiar and the unknown. In the depths of the subway, where shadows dance and whispers echo, the legend of the Chisel Man endures, a chilling reminder of the power of urban myths to shape our understanding of the world around us. The atmosphere inside the nearly empty subway car was thick with an unsettling stillness, punctuated only by the distant rumble of the train as it hurtled through the darkened tunnels beneath the city. It was late at night, and the flickering fluorescent lights overhead cast an eerie glow, illuminating the worn seats and the graffiti-laden walls. The rhythmic clatter of the train wheels created a hypnotic sound, lulling the few remaining passengers into a false sense of security. Among them was a young woman, her heart racing as she clutched her bag tightly, acutely aware of the isolation that enveloped her in the dimly lit space. As the train sped along, she glanced around, noting the sparse crowd. A couple of tired commuters sat at the far end, their heads bobbing as they fought against sleep. The air felt heavy, almost oppressive, and she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The subway, usually a bustling hub of activity, felt like a cavernous void, amplifying her sense of vulnerability. She shifted in her seat, trying to shake off the unease that clung to her like a shadow. Suddenly, the train jolted to a stop at an unplanned station, the screech of the brakes echoing through the car. The doors slid open with a mechanical hiss, and a chill swept through the compartment. A figure emerged from the shadows, a large dog trailing closely behind. The creature was a massive, muscular beast, its fur dark and matted, eyes glinting with an unsettling intensity. The woman's heart sank as she instinctively recognized the potential danger that lurked in the animal's presence. The dog seemed out of place in the sterile environment of the subway, its growls reverberating ominously as it stepped into the car. The atmosphere shifted dramatically as the dog entered, the tension palpable. The few remaining passengers exchanged nervous glances, their expressions a mix of confusion and fear. The woman's instincts kicked in, and she felt a primal urge to flee, to escape the confines of the subway car before the situation escalated. But her body felt frozen, caught in a web of fear as she watched the dog move closer to a man who had just boarded the train. He was oblivious to the danger, engrossed in his phone, unaware of the beast that loomed just a few feet away. In an instant, the atmosphere turned from eerie to horrifying. The dog lunged forward, teeth bared, and the man barely had time to react. The sound of the dog's growl filled the air, a deep, menacing rumble that sent shockwaves of terror through the car. The woman's heart raced as she witnessed the scene unfold before her eyes. The man stumbled backward, dropping his phone as he tried to shield himself from the oncoming attack. The dog's powerful jaws clamped down on his arm, and a scream pierced the air, echoing through the subway car like a siren. Panic erupted among the passengers. The woman felt her breath catch in her throat, her instincts screaming at her to run, to get as far away from the chaos as possible. But her body remained rooted to the spot, caught in a whirlwind of shock and disbelief. The sight of the man struggling against the dog, desperately trying to pry its jaws from his flesh, was a visceral reminder of the fragility of safety in such an unpredictable environment. The growls and snarls of the dog filled her ears, drowning out the frantic shouts of the other passengers as they scrambled to escape the scene. In that moment, time seemed to slow down. The woman's mind raced, grappling with the instinctual fear that coursed through her veins. She felt a surge of adrenaline, a primal response to the danger unfolding before her. The subway car, once a mundane part of her routine, had transformed into a battleground, a place where survival instincts kicked in and the fight-or-flight response took over. She could feel her heart pounding in her chest, a relentless drumbeat urging her to act, to do something, anything, to help the man or to save herself. As the chaos unfolded, the other passengers began to react. Some shouted for help, while others frantically pressed the emergency button, their voices rising in a cacophony of fear. The woman's gaze darted around the car, searching for an escape route, a way to distance herself from the horror. She felt a wave of nausea wash over her as she watched the man struggle, his face contorted in pain and terror. The dog's grip tightened, and she could see the blood seeping through the fabric of his shirt, a stark reminder of the brutality of the situation. In a moment of clarity, she realized that she couldn't just stand by and do nothing. The instinct to help surged within her, battling against the overwhelming urge to flee. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for what she was about to do. With trembling hands, she reached for her bag, rummaging through it for anything that could serve as a weapon or a distraction. Her fingers brushed against a metal water bottle, and she grasped it tightly, her heart racing as she prepared to intervene. Summoning every ounce of courage, she stepped forward, shouting at the dog in a desperate attempt to divert its attention. "Hey, get away from him!" Her voice rang out, cutting through the chaos like a beacon of hope. The dog's head snapped in her direction, momentarily distracted from its prey. The man seized the opportunity, using the brief reprieve to push the dog away, his face a mask of pain and determination. The woman hurled the water bottle at the dog, hoping to startle it enough to break its focus. The bottle struck the ground with a loud clang, and the dog hesitated, its growls faltering as it turned to investigate the noise. In that fleeting moment, the man managed to break free, stumbling backward as he clutched his injured arm. The other passengers rushed to his side, their collective fear transforming into a surge of solidarity as they helped him to safety. As the chaos began to subside, the woman felt a rush of relief wash over her, mingled with the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. The dog, now disoriented by the commotion, retreated toward the exit, its growls fading into the distance as the train doors slid shut. The atmosphere in the subway car shifted once more, the tension giving way to a sense of disbelief and shock. The passengers exchanged wide-eyed glances, their hearts still racing from the harrowing encounter. In the aftermath of the terrifying experience, the woman couldn't shake the feeling of vulnerability that lingered in the air. The subway, once a familiar and routine part of her life, had transformed into a reminder of the unpredictability of urban existence. The instinctual fear she had felt in that moment of danger served as a stark reminder of the fragility of safety in public spaces. The psychological impact of the encounter would stay with her long after she left the subway, a haunting memory that would shape her perception of the world around her. As she exited the subway station, the cool night air hit her like a wave, grounding her in reality. The adrenaline began to fade, replaced by a profound sense of gratitude for her own safety and the safety of the man who had been attacked. Yet, the experience had left an indelible mark on her psyche, a reminder of the instinctual fear that can arise in the face of danger. The subway, with its dark tunnels and unpredictable encounters, would never feel the same again. The memory of the large dog and the chaos it had wrought would linger in her mind, a testament to the primal instincts that surface when survival is at stake. In the dimly lit corridors of the subway system, where the echoes of trains fade into an unsettling silence, a chilling legend circulates among maintenance workers, the tale of the crone. This hooded figure, often described as an old woman cloaked in tattered garments, is said to haunt the tunnels, instilling fear in those who encounter her. The stories shared among workers are steeped in an eerie atmosphere, each retelling adding layers to the legend and transforming the crone into a figure of both dread and intrigue. As the workers navigate the labyrinthine passages of the subway, they often find themselves glancing over their shoulders, half expecting to catch a glimpse of the crone lurking in the shadows. The origins of the crone legend are murky, steeped in the folklore of urban life. Some say she is a manifestation of the city's collective fears, a symbol of the unknown that lurks beneath the surface of everyday existence. Others believe she is a spirit tied to the subway, a remnant of those who have suffered or perished in the depths of the urban landscape. Regardless of her origins, the crone has become a haunting presence in the minds of maintenance workers, who share their unsettling encounters with hushed voices and nervous laughter. One worker recounted a particularly chilling experience while performing routine maintenance in an isolated section of the subway. As he descended into the darkened tunnel, he felt an inexplicable sense of unease wash over him. The air was thick with an oppressive silence, broken only by the distant sound of dripping water. As he moved deeper into the tunnel, he caught a glimpse of a figure at the far end, shrouded in darkness. The figure was hunched over, its hood obscuring its face, and an icy chill ran down his spine as he instinctively knew he was not alone. The worker's heart raced as he approached the figure, compelled by a mix of curiosity and dread. As he drew closer, he could see the tattered edges of the crone's cloak fluttering in the stale air, and he felt an overwhelming sense of foreboding. The figure turned slightly, revealing a glimpse of a weathered face, lined with age and sorrow. The worker's instincts screamed at him to turn back, to flee from the presence of the crone. But he found himself frozen in place, caught in the grip of fear. In that moment, he felt as though he were staring into the abyss, confronted by the unknown that lay just beyond the veil of reality. Another maintenance worker shared a harrowing encounter that left him shaken for weeks. He was working late one night, alone in a tunnel that had long been abandoned. The atmosphere was thick with an unsettling stillness, and he felt a creeping sensation that he was being watched. As he moved through the darkness, he suddenly heard a soft whisper, barely audible but unmistakable. The voice seemed to call his name, luring him deeper into the shadows. Against his better judgment, he followed the sound, his heart pounding in his chest. As he rounded a corner, he came face to face with the crone. She stood before him, her hooded figure cloaked in darkness, her eyes glinting with an otherworldly light. The worker felt an icy grip of terror as he realized he was trapped in her gaze. The whispers grew louder, swirling around him like a tempest, filling his mind with a cacophony of fear and confusion. He could feel the weight of her presence pressing down on him, suffocating him with an overwhelming sense of dread. In a moment of sheer instinct, he turned and ran, the echoes of his footsteps reverberating through the tunnel as he fled from the crone's grasp. The fear instilled by the crone is not merely a product of the imagination. It taps into deeper themes of folklore and the unknown that resonate within urban settings. In a city that often feels impersonal and isolating, the legend of the crone serves as a reminder of the mysteries that lie beneath the surface. The subway, with its dark tunnels and hidden corners, becomes a canvas for the fears and anxieties of those who traverse it. The crone embodies the archetype of the wise woman, a figure who straddles the line between the known and the unknown, evoking both fear and fascination. Folklore has long played a significant role in shaping our understanding of the world, providing a framework for interpreting the inexplicable. The crone legend is no exception. It reflects the collective fears of urban dwellers who grapple with the uncertainties of life in a sprawling metropolis. The stories shared among maintenance workers serve as a form of oral tradition, passed down through generations, each retelling adding depth to the legend. In this way, the crone becomes a symbol of the city's hidden history, a reminder of the lives that have intersected with the subway system and the mysteries that remain unsolved. The themes of folklore and the unknown are particularly poignant in urban environments, where the hustle and bustle of daily life can mask the darker undercurrents that flow beneath the surface. The crone serves as a bridge between the mundane and the supernatural, a figure that challenges our perceptions of reality. Her presence in the subway tunnels evokes a sense of unease, forcing commuters and workers alike to confront their fears and question the nature of the world around them. As the legend of the crone continues to circulate among subway maintenance workers, It becomes a shared experience that binds them together in their collective fear. The stories serve as a form of camaraderie, a way to navigate the uncertainties of their work environment. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, the crone represents a constant reminder of the unknown, a figure that embodies the fears that lurk in the shadows. The psychological impact of the crone legend extends beyond mere fear. It taps into the primal instincts that govern human behavior. The subway, with its dark tunnels and hidden corners, becomes a space where the unknown reigns supreme, and the crone serves as a manifestation of those fears. Workers find themselves grappling with the tension between curiosity and caution, drawn to the legend while simultaneously repelled by its implications. The crone becomes a symbol of the dangers that lie in wait, a reminder that the urban landscape is not as safe as it may seem. In the end, the legend of the crone is more than just a ghost story. It is a reflection of the complexities of urban life and the psychological effects of folklore on individuals navigating the unknown. As maintenance workers share their eerie tales, they contribute to a rich tapestry of urban mythology, weaving together the threads of fear, curiosity, and the inexplicable. The crone stands as a haunting reminder of the mysteries that lie beneath the surface of everyday life, a figure that challenges us to confront our fears and embrace the unknown. In the depths of the subway, where shadows dance and whispers echo, the legend of the crone endures, a chilling testament to the power of folklore in shaping our understanding of the world around us. The thrill of urban exploration often draws adventurers into the forgotten corners of the city, where history lies dormant beneath layers of dust and decay. Among the most enticing yet perilous locations are the abandoned subway tunnels, remnants of a once bustling transit system that now serve as a haunting reminder of the past. For a group of urban explorers, the allure of these subterranean spaces was irresistible, promising both excitement and danger as they prepared to venture into the depths of the underground. As they descended into the darkened tunnels, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. The air grew cooler, thick with the scent of damp concrete and rust. The explorers, equipped with flashlights and cameras, felt a rush of adrenaline as they stepped into the shadows, leaving the bustling city above behind. The thrill of exploring forgotten spaces ignited their imaginations, each step echoing with the promise of discovery. The tunnels, with their crumbling walls and graffiti-covered surfaces, whispered stories of a bygone era, beckoning them to uncover the secrets hidden within. However, the excitement of exploration was tempered by an underlying sense of danger. The tunnels were not only physically treacherous, with crumbling infrastructure and unpredictable conditions, but they also held an air of mystery that could quickly turn ominous. As the group ventured deeper into the labyrinthine passages, they began to notice strange occurrences that sent shivers down their spines. Flickering lights danced in the distance, casting eerie shadows that seemed to shift and move on their own. The explorers exchanged nervous glances, their hearts racing as they pressed on, drawn by the thrill of the unknown. One of the explorers, a young woman named Sarah, felt a growing sense of unease as they navigated the dark corridors. She had always been fascinated by urban exploration, but the atmosphere in the abandoned subway tunnels felt different, charged with an energy that was both exhilarating and unsettling. As they ventured further, she began to hear faint whispers echoing through the tunnels, barely audible but unmistakable. The sound seemed to come from all directions, wrapping around her like a shroud. She brushed it off as her imagination, but the feeling of being watched lingered in the back of her mind. As they reached a particularly dark section of the tunnel, the group decided to take a break and gather their thoughts. They sat on the cold, damp ground, sharing stories of previous explorations and the strange occurrences they had encountered. Just as they were beginning to relax, a loud crash echoed through the tunnel, reverberating off the walls and sending a jolt of panic through the group. The explorers jumped to their feet, their hearts pounding as they shone their flashlights into the darkness, searching for the source of the noise. "Did you hear that?" One of the explorers, Mark, whispered, his voice trembling with fear. The others nodded, their eyes wide with apprehension. The thrill of exploration had quickly morphed into a palpable sense of dread. They exchanged nervous glances, weighing their options. Should they investigate the sound, or retreat to the safety of the entrance? The allure of the unknown tugged at them, urging them to press on despite the risks. With a collective deep breath, they decided to investigate. As they moved cautiously toward the source of the noise, the atmosphere grew heavier, the air thick with tension. The whispers returned, louder this time, swirling around them like a haunting melody. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine as she strained to make out the words, but they remained just beyond her comprehension. The group pressed on, their flashlights illuminating the damp walls, revealing remnants of a forgotten world. Old advertisements peeling away, rusted tracks, and debris scattered across the ground. Suddenly, one of the explorers, Jake, stopped in his tracks, his face pale. "Guys, look!" he exclaimed, pointing down the tunnel. The others turned to see what had caught his attention, and their hearts sank. A shadowy figure stood at the far end of the passage, partially obscured by darkness. It was difficult to discern its features, but the figure appeared to be watching them, unmoving and silent. Panic surged through the group as they exchanged terrified glances, the thrill of exploration replaced by a primal instinct to flee. "Let's get out of here," Sarah shouted, her voice breaking the silence. Without waiting for a response, she turned and sprinted back down the tunnel, the others following closely behind. The sound of their footsteps echoed through the darkness, a frantic rhythm that matched the pounding of their hearts. As they ran, the whispers grew louder, swirling around them like a tempest, filling their minds with fear and confusion. The shadowy figure seemed to follow them, its presence looming just out of sight, a constant reminder of the danger that lurked in the depths. The explorers navigated the winding tunnels, their flashlights flickering as they raced toward the entrance. The thrill of adventure had transformed into a desperate fight for survival, the allure of the unknown now overshadowed by the very real fear of what lay behind them. As they reached a fork in the tunnel, they hesitated, unsure of which path to take. The whispers intensified, echoing off the walls, urging them to choose quickly. With no time to waste, they made a split-second decision and veered left, hoping it would lead them to safety. As they continued to run, the atmosphere shifted once more. The air felt charged, as if the very walls were alive with energy. The explorers could hear the sound of their own breathing, heavy and frantic, mingling with the whispers that seemed to grow more insistent. The fear that had gripped them was palpable, a shared experience that bound them together in their flight from the unknown. They could feel the weight of the darkness pressing in around them, a suffocating reminder of the risks they had taken in their pursuit of adventure. Finally, they spotted a faint light in the distance, a beacon of hope that urged them to push forward. With renewed determination, they sprinted toward it, their hearts racing as they closed the distance. As they emerged from the tunnel into the open air, the relief was overwhelming. They stumbled onto the platform, gasping for breath, the cool night air washing over them like a balm. The thrill of exploration had given way to a profound sense of gratitude for their safety, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. In the aftermath of their harrowing experience, the explorers gathered their thoughts, still shaken by the events that had unfolded. The allure of urban exploration had drawn them into the depths of the subway, but the risks they faced were all too real. The strange occurrences and sightings they had encountered served as a stark reminder of the unknown that exists in forgotten spaces. While the thrill of discovery is a powerful motivator, it is essential to recognize the potential dangers that accompany such adventures. Urban exploration is a dance with the unknown, a thrilling pursuit that can lead to both awe and terror. The abandoned subway tunnels, with their haunting beauty and hidden histories, continue to captivate the imaginations of explorers. Yet, as the group reflected on their experience, they understood that the risks involved are not to be taken lightly. The allure of the underground may be enticing, but it is essential to approach it with caution and respect for the mysteries that lie within. In the end, the harrowing experience in the abandoned subway tunnels served as a powerful reminder of the delicate balance between thrill and danger. The explorers emerged from the darkness with a newfound appreciation for the risks they had taken, forever changed by their encounter with the unknown. The allure of urban exploration would continue to call to them, but they would carry the lessons learned from their journey into the depths, a testament to the power of adventure and the importance of heeding the warnings of the shadows. In this spine-chilling video, we delved into a series of unsettling encounters and urban legends that haunt the depths of our cities, particularly focusing on the eerie tales that emerge from the subway system. From the terrifying experiences of maintenance workers who have encountered strange graffiti known as scrawl leeches to the haunting legend of the Chisel Man, each story serves as a reminder of the mysteries that lurk beneath the surface of urban life. We explored the legend of the crone, a hooded figure that instills fear in those who dare to traverse the darkened tunnels, and recounted the harrowing experiences of urban explorers who ventured into abandoned subway tunnels, only to confront the unknown in ways they never anticipated. Throughout the video, we highlighted the psychological impact of these urban myths and legends, emphasizing how they tap into our primal fears and shape our understanding of the world around us. The stories shared by maintenance workers, commuters, and explorers alike reveal a common thread. The allure of the unknown is both captivating and terrifying. Each encounter serves as a testament to the power of folklore and the collective anxieties that arise in urban settings, reminding us that the shadows of our cities hold secrets waiting to be uncovered. As we reflect on these chilling encounters, we encourage you, our viewers, to think about your own experiences with the unknown. Have you ever felt a sense of unease in a familiar place? Have you encountered something that defied explanation? These moments often linger in our memories, shaping our perceptions of safety and vulnerability in the world around us. We invite you to share your stories in the comments below, as we believe that every experience adds to the rich tapestry of urban legends and the mysteries that connect us all. If you enjoyed this exploration of eerie tales and unsettling encounters, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel for more spine-tingling content. By liking and sharing this video, you help us reach a wider audience, allowing us to continue uncovering the chilling stories that lie hidden in the shadows of our cities. Join us as we delve deeper into the unknown, exploring the legends and myths that shape our understanding of the world. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay curious, because you never know what might be lurking just around the corner.